Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to KPU Presents Ketchikan Fight Club 2013, coming up in April 20th, just about a month away. This is the show where the roughest and toughest battle it out in the middle of the ring, and if you want to watch a show, if you've been wanting to come down live and watch one live, this is the one to go to, I guarantee it. You're having all the belts up for the line, you're having the best fighters in Ketchikan, and all around Southeast Alaska fight. This is the one. Jack put together a wonderful card, and he's got this build-up going into it with his son, who's fighting Samson. Tyson Duckworth, for those who don't know, he's been your champion for over 10 years. And I think that it's important that people know that, he knows how to wrestle. He knows he's done Taekwondo, he's boxed, he's probably one of the best fighters in the state. So sit back and relax, and this is The Lowdown.
Hi, my name is Jack Duckworth. I'm the Ketchikan Fight Club president. This is our 11th year. We've had 31 shows and over 600 fights. We've got a whole new feature going on. We've hooked up with KPU over the last series of fights, and they've been filming the fights and been doing an awesome job. And this time we're going to present a 24/7, a Tyson to Samson showdown. Samson, who's a new guy out of Saxman area, and from this area he's been working MMA. He had 2 fights last fight, submitted both of his guys, fought Tommy Shaw, who's just stronger than strong, and fought Mr. Perry, who is stronger and strong. He submitted both of them. He challenged Tyson. Tyson is our lightweight champ. Some of you remember when he did the spin hook kick and knocked out Chaz Nelson. It was in about 14 seconds. That hit alone, that side alone has had over about 14,000 hits now. Tyson has wrestled all through high school. He's been boxing. He's the lightweight champ in Juneau. He's the middleweight champ in Juneau. He was fighting for the heavyweight champ last year, won that, got robbed. I'll say it out loud. I hope you heard that, Bob Haig. But because he wanted to be the first guy to win all 3 of those belts. He's a good boxer. He's our lightweight champ. He's also our MMA champ. And Samson is going to be a real formidable opponent. Samson is good on the ground. He's good with jiu-jitsu. Tyson can do a little jiu-jitsu, but he's a really good wrestler. He's supposed to be in a title fight up in Juneau for MMA coming up in the near future. Samson's got his work cut out for him, but we got our work cut out for us. So with Jake fighting, Jake Swartz has agreed to fight. Loel Apostolo is going to fight. Gabe Duckworth has been challenged to fight. We just got fighters galore. It's got the old feel back. We're going to be breaking up into 2 camps. We're going to keep you guys posted on a 24/7. You're going to get to know the fighters. You're going to get to know some of their personal things about them, how they train, what they train. You're going to be impressed with how they train. They box, they roll around, they submit, they do pad drills, they do kick pad drills, they run sprints, some of them lift weights. Loel Apostolo's out there lifting weights. We are going to get him a tough fight. Jake, you look like an animal. You look tall, thin, lean. I don't know. You look like you're getting ready, and that impressed me. And earlier today, I was talking to you. I was just joking with you guys about fighting. But now that you guys are going to fight, it's just too awesome. You know, all of our people have fought. You know, I fought. My brother Frank's had 5 fights in Juneau. He's a referee. The judges, Chris Linnaeus fought. Terry Wanzer has fought. Terry Wanzer fought back in the days when they fought in the Frontier Saloon here, and now it's one of the Fur Diamond Show things. But you know, so everybody fights. That's cool. We're just really excited about getting you to know these fighters on a 24/7. Eric Nygaard is going to be ahead of the blue camp, and Tyson will be trained, and we don't have any one person that's as good as Eric. So, but we've got a lot of people, a lot of talents. Mike Ferrari stepping into Tyson's camp to work the groundwork with him. Cesar Ramirez, you saw him fight last time. He fought Rafael. Rafael will be back. Rafael, he runs marathons. He's graduated college. He's fought up in Fairbanks. He's the middleweight champ and the boxing middleweight champ. He fought Cesar at the last fight, so Cesar's going to be training. We're not sure if Cesar's fighting in this fight, but he might. But Rafael will definitely be coming over and defending. Willie Hayward's coming back to defend. If we can't find 2 people in that division, we might have Willie and Rafael go as an exhibition. So there's going to be a lot of good fights, but I'm really looking forward to you guys getting to know the fighters. We all believe in hard work. We all believe in training. Personally, I've had about 160 Taekwondo fights. I was in the top 8 in the nation 2 different years. I've had about 16 boxing matches. I've had 3 kickboxing matches. Everybody fights, and if you're going to fight, then you're at the right place. So it's going to be some good show. It's going to be a lot of fun. Pay real close attention. You're going to be surprised when Tyson comes in the ring. He owns it. He's ferocious, but he's not ferocious outside the ring. He's mild. He's mannered, and you wouldn't guess that. Samson is mild-mannered across the board, but he's tough as nail. And if there had to be somebody out there for me to pick to beat Tyson, it would either be Samson or Rafael. I love both those 2 guys. They both got great attitudes. They're both animals, and they're hard workers. So we're looking forward to this. So welcome to 724 KPU style.
All right, guys. My name is Eric Nygren, and I'm here with my good friend Samson Mullinax, and I am the captain of the Fighting Dragons Martial Arts. And I've been training for about 5 years off and on with the Ketchikan Fight Club and the Duckworths. And I've gone up to Juneau several times and fought with them. I fought in the ring here a few different times. You guys may have seen me in several different people's corners. And we also are doing training at the rec center and at my house. Basically, my experience started when I was real young, probably in my teens, about a little bit younger than him, 15, 16. I got into Taekwondo for a little while, and I've always been interested in martial arts. So I basically took that and ran with it. I lived with a guy in Phoenix for a little while who was a professional Muay Thai kickboxer. And so I've had a lot of experience over the years and never really found my niche until I moved to Ketchikan, and I got in touch with these guys up at the rec center and started hanging out with Jack and Tyson and Gabe, and they started showing me the ropes and beating up on me and making me tougher. And eventually I got tough enough to where other people respected me enough where they would train underneath me. And I feel like I'm a decent enough teacher where I can get my point across, and I help people understand the concepts and help them get better. That's what it's all about. As long as you are willing to be consistent and you want to come and you want to train, then I'm willing to give you anything you want to know about fighting, because I've got an endless supply of knowledge. I've watched tons and tons of video, and whatever you want to think of as far as mixed martial arts, I've probably looked into it or watched video on YouTube or brought it up here and worked with these guys. Anything that we can possibly do to help us get better is what we want to do. It takes a long time to get good at this sport. And so you really get to see that when you're in my position. You get to see somebody who has been alongside you the whole time, and you both started out okay, not great fighters at all by any means, and now after 4 or 5 years we've come a long way, and this young man is ready to take a shot at the lightweight title, which I think he has a very good chance of taking. And
very hopeful.
Honestly, I think it's because he's unfazable. You can't make him panic. You can't put him in a position he hasn't been in class, and you can't make him scared of anything you're going to do to him in the ring. So he knows he's got a tall order in Tyson, but he also knows that he's got a lot of confidence in his own ability and the techniques that we've trained and we've practiced in. And his ground game is phenomenal. And when you get on the ground with him, you feel a different level. So that is where the difference is going to be. Tyson is obviously an excellent stand-up fighter. So is Samson. He's good at stand-up too. The edge is going to be to Tyson on the feet. I think the edge is going to be to Samson on the ground. And it's going to all depend on who gets to impose their will where. And that's how the fight's going to go. I'd like to see him impose his will to the ground and get a submission out of it. And we'll all have fun and be friends afterwards. We're friends now, we'll be friends afterwards. And you know, this is, to us, it's a sport, and we're athletes, and we want to be friends before, maybe not so much during, but definitely after. So, you know, it's war when we're in there, but we definitely want it to be a sport, and we want people to understand that that's the way that we view it, and we're not savages who just try to beat people up. We actually want to learn a sport, and we want to learn the technique for the actual art of it. That's why it's called mixed martial arts. So
all about control.
We want to show the art side of it. I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Samson because he's definitely got a few words that he wants to put on camera. So I'm going to hand it over to him, and he'll tell you a little bit about himself.
Let's start off by, I'm 20 years old, 165 pounds, and I've had a long history of fighting. Childhood, growing up just in Ketchikan. Fought with friends. The very first time I came up to the rec center for the MMA class, Eric was just a student, and surprisingly enough, I was able to submit him the first day. So I definitely have come a long way. They taught me that it's important to stay calm, to maintain control. You really have to be in the right mindset. You really can't panic. It's definitely something you can learn over time, but you gotta get past the starting line.
Takes consistency.
You gotta start where you are. You gotta start where you're at, one step at a time. Let's see, what else? I did do Taekwondo with Everett Savage, who also learned from Jack Duckworth. I did that 8th grade, and I did that about half a year. Then took a break, did some fighting with some friends, went online and learned some neat little moves. And eventually I heard about MMA. I was like, ooh, this sounds fun. And so, yeah, it's been a real enjoyable hobby. Yeah, like I say, it's about the mindset. You kind of have to be like water, as Bruce Lee would say. Be able to adapt to your surroundings, to flow over your opponent without effort, but at the same time, you're kind of like an ocean that's able to crush, gigantic ships. Yeah, that's kind of the gist of what I want to say, at least for now.
What are some of the main staples of your camp and what you're going to be doing? What are some of the main things that you're going to be focusing on, or what are some of the top things that you learned if you had somebody that's fresh clay? What is some of the staples that you're going to teach them when they walk into the door?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you can get this, but this is one of the mottos that I like to live by. Eat, sleep, jiu-jitsu, repeat. Jiu-jitsu encompasses everything. In Brazil, they treat jiu-jitsu like the entire sport of MMA. There's really not a whole lot of translation between jiu-jitsu and MMA for us. So for them, it encompasses everything that would take place in a fight, whether you're standing up, throwing punches, in the clinch, grappling with somebody on your feet, or looking for a takedown, or on the ground, obviously, which is where everybody knows jiu-jitsu takes place. Royce Gracie made it famous in UFC 1 when he came out as a guy our size against 200, 300, 400 pound sumo wrestlers and choked them all out. And you know, basically we focus on jiu-jitsu, but we also throw in everything else. I really like the concepts in Muay Thai kickboxing, which is destroy. Do not tap. Do not try to point. Try to kick through. Try to punch through. Try to elbow through. You're not trying to throw more than one shot. You want every shot's a kill shot. But I've also liked to develop a little bit of a Western style boxing philosophy, which is you don't always have to throw power. So we mix everything in, we're unpredictable, we try to do things that make people think we're doing something, but we're doing something else. So there's a lot of misdirection involved, and the technique is huge. If you're not willing to push your ability to train your technique and really absorb as much as possible and then apply it, then you're not gonna go as far as you should go. But we focus on everything in our camp. We try to hit strength and conditioning, which actually starting on the 20th, which will be next week, next Wednesday, we're gonna start hitting the strength and conditioning side of things more than we're gonna hit the technique, because we really need more of that as we get closer to fight time. When there's not a whole lot of time to the fight, or there's a lot of time to fights, and we're just, you know, not worried as much about strength and conditioning, we're really gonna focus on technique then, and paying attention to the minuscule details that a lot of people overlook, and it ends up leaving us spots for counter shots and takedowns and submissions. And you know, you ask any great fighter, they'll tell you one mistake. That's all it takes. One mistake and the fight's over. And so I want to have the mentality of anywhere we're at, if they give us a mistake, we capitalize, we finish the fight. Period. Sound good?
Yeah.
Cool.
This is going to be the very first 24/7, our 31st fight, and it's time, and you guys are going to be the feature of it. So, what do you know about Tyson, real quick?
I know he's an excellent striker, so I've worked with him on his ground game, and you know, he's come quite a ways. You know, still rusty in a few spots, but I think that's with his age.
Are you going to be able to capitalize on that?
I think I might.
All right. What do you know about Samson?
He needs a haircut. Bleeds all the time. He's a good guy. He works hard. We're both drug and alcohol free. Well, I'm drug and alcohol free. You know, he works hard and he's got a good game. His ground stuff is up there with some of the best around.
The cool thing about both these guys is they have mad respect for each other, you know, and as a father, I always obviously want my son to win, but if I had to pick a couple of guys that if they had to edge him, it'd probably be him and Raphael. So, mad love for both these guys.
Yeah. Tyson is definitely one of the most well-rounded fighters I'm ever probably going to go up against. He is dominant on striking, and he has a phenomenal ground game. But like I say, he is in excellent cardio condition, and it's definitely going to be a handful.
We're training. Tyson's training hard. He's running. He's working out. He's doing all the things he needs to do. Hoping Samson's getting ready. It's going to be a good war. And today we're going to show you some of the training techniques that Tyson does. But just breaking it down, what we think we're better, what we have more experience in. Samson's definitely got some good jiu-jitsu experience, but Tyson, how many years of boxing you got in?
Man, I say I've been boxing for at least 12 years. You know, it kind of took me a while. I was so headstrong about I wasn't going to be good at it, and then finally got talked into it by my dad and my brother, and just kind of went from there, and the fight started piling up. And you know, the more you get in there and you just get a little more technical and a little more diverse with your game, and it just became like anything else I was good at, and this maybe boxing over the top, you know.
Yeah, I mean, some of the highlights you've had in boxing, you've been our lightweight champion. You've had 31 shows. He captured that title from the get-go. He's had it now for 10 plus years. We have fought in Juneau. You were their lightweight champion, their middleweight champion. You know, some of the fighters don't know when you get tons of experience in fighting, when it's time to fight, you have rituals that you go through. And talk about maybe some of those rituals that you go through to get ready for a fight. You have your little secret weapons that you do. And then when you come to a fight, with the energy of the crowd. If you know how to channel that, you come with about another 25% of power, speed, control, clarity of mind.
Which is huge.
Which is huge. Like one of our strategies that we always do, me, you, and Gabe both do this. I mean, we all have our own little rituals, but one of them is you stay up a little late, you get up early, you eat a big breakfast, you eat a good meal at about 11, and then you go crash out until about an hour before your fight. And then when you wake up, you got morning energy. People that run around all day, they're doing this, they're doing that. By the end of the day, they're coming in with night energy. We come in with morning energy, so we come in with a bigger game. Where that was kind of going, that whole conversation is we took Eric up there to fight once, and he was running all over the place, going for walks all day. We're all three just crashed out like bears, you know, hibernating. And so we get over the fights, you know, we're all just kind of stretching. He's kicking pads and working the mitts, and we're trying to talk him into slowing down and, you know, and breathe and just relax a little bit. And you want to peak at the fight, not peak all day and then be out of it.
And crash at the fight.
He walked in the ring and he said, all of a sudden my energy was gone. It's like, well, you've been using it all day. And so he got it. So that's probably one of the things he does like us now.
Yeah, he's got the secret down now.
We've had a lot of fun stories. We used to go to Kansas City a lot, and Tyson had a house down there, and he had one of these light poles. And this light pole would go up, and it was about 6 foot, and then it kind of had the angle with the crown on top with the little holes drilled around it. And so it was a good 6 feet tall. And so we hired this guy that was from the inner city that was going to help us do some maintenance on the house, and we were cutting trees and everything. But these, like, I don't know what they're called. They're out of elm trees. They kind of whirl down, whirly-giggers they call them, but they got a seat on them. Well, it had stuck through the top of this lamp. And so this guy was there, and so I was talking to him, and I was like, I can do a spin hook kick and knock that out of there. If you give me 2 tries, I'll bet you $5. So he said, okay. So I do the spin hook kick. First one, my toe just hit it right, knocked it out. And he goes, man, I can't believe I got hustled by an old white guy that's not even from the city. And then Tyson was there, and he took the guy's pack of cigarettes and then stuck it on top of the light, which was now about 6'2". And he goes, I'll do a 360 spin hook kick, and kind of explained it to the guy, and hit that off there if you give me 2 tries for another $5. So the guy goes, I'm on. Tyson jumped up, first kick, swiped that pack of cigarettes right off that, and that metal's sharp. And neither one of us hit the metal. He just wiped it just clean. And that guy, he's forking out money. He goes, man, I'm supposed to be the hustler. I'm from the inner city. He goes, what are you guys doing in Alaska? Just sit around and kick everything? And it's like, well, sometimes, you know. We're going to do some pad drills. These are some pad drills that we've worked for 1,000 years. We haven't actually worked them a lot lately, but just to kind of show you some of the kicking versatility. I think a lot of people, we've had over 14,000 hits on his spin hook kick, that knockout kick. You can go to YouTube, Tyson Duckworth, and see that kick. But he's thrown that kick probably 10,000 plus times. But these are just some of the pad drills with some of the kicks, and we'll walk through some of the basic kicks, some of the good kicks. We'll throw out some of the back kicks and some of the things that hopefully we might throw a little bit more kicking than we maybe have in the past. Depends on kind of what opens. Might want to take that one for free with no pad. kicks the play ball and go high. We'll set you up, do a few low kicks, low kick, and then boom, and kind of set it up. That's some of the kicks. We got the kicking level, we got the punching level, we got the wrestling level. He's going to be working MMA tough. Samson, bring your A game.
So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That was Tyson Duckworth and Jack Duckworth talking about his history and his whole beginning his journey into being a better fighter. And I think he's done a pretty good job. Based on what we just seen, you know, he's been wrestling, you know, when he was younger. He's done the Taekwondo thing. He knows how to kick. We've seen that. We've seen and heard that. He knows how to strike. He's been a boxing champion for years. Anyways, MMA is a relatively new sport. And this is what this next fight's going to be in. It's going to be an MMA. Samson, a lot of people are saying that he's got the jiu-jitsu. He knows how to do submissions. He's going to try to drag Tyson to the ground. Tyson has just explained in many ways how, like, you know, he's ready. I mean, he's done the work. He's done the work for years. And most people that don't train, they'll never know. And I mean, if you think you're just going to climb into the ring and be one of the best fighters just because you're tough and you've been in a couple of street fights, try going in there against a guy who's been fighting for 10 years more. See what happens. All right, well, anyways, there you have it. Ketchikan Fight Club, KPU, Ketchikan, Alaska, 420. See you there. Peace.